Hey, everybody. So today we have a pretty interesting and exciting program. Officer Bates and Officer Boyd are here to show you their K-9 units. I think it's going to be pretty neat. But I really don't have a whole lot to tell you. I'll just get out of the way and let the dogs do some cool stuff. But I'll have these fellas come up.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? I'm Officer Billy Boyd. I've been with the Kingsport Police Department for 24 years now. I've worked a dog since 2011. I'm on my third dog now, so I've got 5 more years to go. Hopefully he carries me on out. So this is Officer Travis Bates. He's also assigned patrol. He works a dog named Jimmy. My dog's named Maverick. You'll hear us talk about these dogs. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of history on them. Kingsport is the second oldest K-9 unit in Tennessee. I can't remember the exact year, but y'all might be able to find that in your trivia one day. You might be able to use it. When we purchase these dogs, it's like purchasing a car. Typically, the price range runs from $4,000 to $8,000 for a green dog. He don't know his name, don't know sit, lay down, or nothing. When we test these dogs, we got to put them through a rigorous test of see if they're scared of the dark rooms, slick floor. See if they get car sick. We've had some dogs in the past that got car sick. So that ain't no good. Ain't no fun. So right now we've got 5 K-9 units, one being a single purpose. His job is for explosive detection only. He's currently at the Bristol Motor Speedway right now doing sweeps up there for the current event up there. So the other dogs are dual purpose. They're trained in criminal apprehension, narcotics, tracking, article searches, and things like that. So that's why we call them dual purposes, because they've got 2 different jobs they've got to do. The basic training of these dogs, we usually start, he uses an 8 weeks class. I'll teach it. It goes for 8 weeks, and that's just scratching the surface on what these dogs can do. That's just to get them certified. We've got to get certified every year to be able to use them here on the streets. They get certified in patrol work and the odor works, detection stuff. If they fail any of it, we have to recycle them and train them more and try it again. So, but we have never had a dog fail the certification here in Kingsport. So we're proud of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my dog. He's 3 years old. He's the youngest pup we got at the police department right now. So he's kind of wild a little bit. These boxes up here, we call them scent boxes, and one of them boxes got the odor of cocaine odor in it. And when these dogs sniff, they're trained to sit at the odor and will not come off the odor. And he gets rewarded with the ball. So we'll demonstrate that real quick. Let me go get him real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. My name's Travis Bates. This is my second time on the microphone, so if he's doing
He does a good job. He loves public speaking.
Yeah. Turn for working as a toy. So if a ball hits the ground, rolls near you, don't jump up or run or try to pet the dogs or anything. I don't think we'll have a problem with this crowd, but just if it comes near your table, the dog might get there. Yeah, we might. He'll come up here. After he works this, we'll move it around. We'll try to trick the dog and we'll move it on and see if we can find it after we move his drugs. So Billy's dog's trained on 3 different odors: cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine. So we got 2 dogs that are still trained on marijuana, and we trained those 4 odors. So I'm not sure which one we've got out here. All right, so Maverick's going to be looking for meth today. So whenever he comes up here, you should see a pretty obvious change in behavior is what we're looking for. So for this first one, it's in the second box right here, and if y'all need to stand up to see or whatever you can. But does anybody have any questions before we get started?
You worry about fentanyl with your dog sniffing?
We do. That's one of those things we try to not put a dog into a house or a car where we know that there's likely to be fentanyl. But there have been dogs that have been exposed to it, and it affects them just like it would us. So we're seeing more and more of that. We see quite a bit of fentanyl anymore. So
Do they respond to Narcan?
They do, and we actually, our dogs go to Cherry Point. They actually gave us a kid at one point that had Narcan in it for the dogs, and it's usually if anything happens, we'll either take the dogs there or up to the airport, the emergency clinic. But they gave us a kit for stuff like that. But yeah. Hopefully if you give them Narcan in time, it's kind of like us. It's dangerous for them. It doesn't take much for it to be lethal. So this is K-9 Maverick here.
This is what a 3-year-old on a leash looks like. It's a Belgian Malinois. He's a Belgian Malinois. Typically, they look more brown tannish, but he's got a little Dutch Shepherd in him, so he's going to have that black. When you see Jimmy here directly, that's more like a true Malinois. I know it's a mouthful saying these names, but he's currently 3 years old. He's got probably about close to 19 kilos of methamphetamines off the road so far. Several large money seizures. And that's one thing about these dogs. They pay for themselves. The money that we seize off these drug seizures and stuff, it goes into a drug fund, and that's what we purchase these dogs from. So they basically pay for themselves. So one good lick, they pay for themselves. So typically our commands are in Dutch and German. So if you hear me sound like I'm talking weird up here, that's his commands. Some English, some stuff like that. But we'll see if he can't find these drugs up here. Hopefully he can. I think he already smells them. Good boy. Good boy. When he locks up, you can't pull him off the odor. He gets closer to it. Where's that? You can't call him off. He gets rewarded. That's a good. And that's what he works for right here, is the ball. You'll move the boxes around. So. Good boy. Can't cheat. You can't look. No. Can't look. No, you looking. Let's leave it. Good boy. Yes. They come home with. They're part of their family. Let's. Good boy. They love to work. That's one thing about it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. And like I said, when he's on it, it's no question he's on the odor. And he stays on it until he gets rewarded. That's a good boy. That's like I said, he's a dual purpose K-9 also. He does tracking, apprehension, of course, drugs, and article searches. If someone drops a gun on a crime scene, we can use him to find the gun and everything like that. Knives, screwdrivers, you name it. So they're really worth their weight in gold. Like I said, I've been doing this since 2011, and the most rewarding job I've done so far. So yeah, that's one of the good things. We get a bond with these dogs. They know who their handler is and everything. So
have you got a dedicated dog out to your camp?
No, that's I don't know. THS, they might have like a beagle or something like that. I think we don't fulfill that for them out there. I don't think so.
So I'll bet you, and Maverick, where the meter is, that's different.
It's like a combination lock. Each dog is like a person out here. Each of them got a personality.
Because I know not too long ago I was talking to Travis and he just bit you.
Yeah.
Well, I've got scars from him too. He gets rambunctious, and like when he gets keyed up, it's something else. But like I said, it's the most enjoyable thing I've done so far. I teach the basic school, and that just gets them to certification. 8 weeks, I'll be able to get a dog on detection, bite work. Now, when it looks good, it's about a year. It takes roughly about a good solid year. That's to get the dog used to everything.
Do they have to be adults before you can really train them? Or
1 year old. I like to try to start them at 1 year old. The reason being, you can start puppies out younger because their puppies are food driven, so you can train multiple times just with food. And but what you run in for puppies, you start doing this rigorous jumping around, their legs ain't developed good yet. So you take a chance of hurting their knees and developing their legs and stuff like that. So. Typically, my last dog, he got 10 years on the road. The city is graciously to give us the dog to the handler, so we're pleased with that. And the dog stays with us like a normal dog after that. No, my last dog, Rico, he passed away. He had cancer, and he lived about 2 years after he retired. So that's the sad thing about it. Typically, after they retire, it seems like they go quick. I don't know. It's just one of them things. But typically, they work 8 to 10 years is a good number.
I noticed you have them on the leash now, but do you only let them off the leash to apprehend the person?
It depends. We can do narcotic searches off leash. If this room was empty and there's narcotics in this room somewhere, or we think it might be, instead of me working harder than him trying to show him where everything is, their nose is 10 times stronger than ours, so he finds it a lot quicker than we can. So I usually cut them off leash and let them go. And it's a work of art. When you see them, when they start getting close, they start standing up and doing some weird stuff, like working the cone of odor to get to the odor. And they're trained to get as close to the odor they can to point it out. Sheriff?
Hey, Billy, I didn't know if you all were looking sort of in the future when you get a new dog with the possibility of decriminalization of marijuana. Are you training them?
I'm not training that no more. That's a good question. We have, is Jimmy still on?
Jimmy and Kylo.
Jimmy and Kylo are other 2 dogs. They're the only one on marijuana. It's just a pendulum right now. We don't know how it's going to fall, and I think it's better to not have the odor on the trained dog yet. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I haven't crossed that bridge yet, like in court. You know, defense attorney is going to be like, well, he learned it. If we find cocaine and marijuana in the car, he's going to say, well, he learned on marijuana. But yeah, but there's cocaine in the car too. So we've never run across that yet, but from this point on, I'm not imprinting any marijuana on the dogs, the new ones. Yes, sir.
These dogs track someone's walk.
These, they can do it, but typically I'm trying to get a bloodhound. That's what I'm working on right now, and I'm hopefully maybe by next year I'll have some answers on that. So I'm wanting to use a bloodhound for people that's lost, kids lost, and have someone work in, because these dogs, when they find somebody, their main training is they apprehend them. And we don't want that, you know, if an older person's lost and he finds them, we don't want the worst thing, he bite his leg or something, you know, type thing. But a bloodhound, that's the best thing to use, because, I mean, they can track them and just love up on them when they find them, I guess. So. Yes, sir. Yes. We've had instances where handlers retire or go to another job and their dog gets selected by another handler. We've ran into that, and we hadn't had that big of an issue. Kylo, he's been through 4 handlers since he was been at the police department, and luckily we have not seen one problem whatsoever. It just, he knows who feeds him and all that good stuff.
Like if you retire a dog, he gets older,
Uh-huh.
and bring in another dog, are they living in the same house?
No. Some majority of these dogs, they're like alpha dogs basically. They're independent. My old dog, he was handler aggressive. He ain't too bad handler aggressive or dog aggressive, but you know that's something we run into. But we keep them separated. I've had
Do they get along with other dogs or people?
sometimes. A lot of people, it's the difference between having a pet dog and a working dog. As far as a working dog, I try not to let people pet him and socialize him with other dogs, because if we got a serious incident and I'm relying on him to find a guy that's got a possible gun or weapon, I don't want him to see somebody else and run up to somebody else, get used to, hey, he's my friend type thing. I want him to be clear-minded on what his task is doing. So, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how they apprehend the suspect?
We're getting ready to show. We actually going to show y'all in first person here in a second.
These are called sissy sleeves, and I always wear those because the dog's teeth will go through the bite suit. This just helps. All we feel is the dog's pressure of their bite. Hopefully their teeth won't go into us for wearing those. Kylo, the dog that's not here, his teeth are really long, and his will go right through the jacket. And I've got some scars from him. So this right here, the toy that Billy had that he was giving his dog. Whenever we're training bite stuff, basically the person in the decoy suit becomes the dog's toy. That's how we train them. So whenever we train them to do bite work, it's not to mangle anybody or hurt anybody, nothing like that. It's just to bite and hold. So you'll see. I'm gonna have my dog come in and catch Billy. He'll bite and hold on, so we can pick the dog up. And hopefully he won't let go until I tell him to. So if somebody was trying to run, get away from us, the dog's just holding them until we can get there and make an arrest. But we'll get Billy suited up here, and then we'll get Jimmy in here. Yes, sir.
Does he bite and hold, or is he hold and shake?
A little bit of shaking. So we'll get Billy in the suit here, and then we'll bring Jimmy in.
We wear these suits to protect us, of course. We can still feel the pressure of the dog's jaw. You know how crazy he was about the ball with the drugs? That just becomes a real live ball right there. That's how we train him. So I'll get this thing on, and we'll show y'all how his dog apprehends. When we do bite work, you'll see his demeanor when he walks in that he targets me. So.
Don't you have anything to cover your head with?
Because he likes you.
Huh? He loves me. You'll see her, man.
And is there something on your suit to make him come?
Nope. Nope.
So how does he know to come to you?
A lot of training.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts off by playing just with a rag, and it just gradually goes up from there.
So you're the target.
Yeah, I'm the target. Yeah. We train them when we're standing up to target arms and legs. If we're doing something where we're hiding up under a vehicle, we use a football helmet.
So what identifies you as the target rather than somebody else?
Basically, he's just used to this.
This is Jimmy. I've been working with him for 4 years now. We'll show you how we train him to do apprehension work.
Ready?
Almost.
You see how focused he is. It's a slick floor. When they grab hold, they're just trained to hold. That's all they do. It's hard to run with a 70-pound dog hanging on. And see, when they get them up, they're You see his tail? All I am is just a toy to him. That's all I am.
So if you dress the hat and see he go after him.
Yeah. Come on. Like I said, donations.
Did he have loose teeth?
No. Luckily we've had a couple broker teeth, but that was hitting them on a curve or something, some kind of real wild accident.
Do you know how much pressure they bite with?
It's I didn't know the number on it, but I forgot it. Right now it feels like you slammed your arm in a car door. So what it sounds.
Do you enjoy it?
Love it. Too old to do it, all right.
So if you're the first trainer to teach dogs to play, you use German or Belgian to rather than English, just keep them.
The theory on that I've got is I don't want someone else tell my dog what to do.
Yeah.
His command's different than my dog's as far as the other ones. That's just something that I do. Pretty much, if we have to go 2 dogs, if I tell my dog to do a command, his dog's not going to do it. That's the way I like it.
What's the biting pressure?
I don't know that you can Google it. I didn't know that it's up there. It's about, I want maybe just guess, maybe up 1,200 pounds per inch or something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, and some bite harder than he does.
I would have sold him
All right.
I want some more.
Yeah, this is the fun part. That's what they enjoy the most.
4,000 pounds per square inch.
4,000. There you go. Say I was wrong. 4,000 per square inch. Yes.
I noticed that both of these dogs are intact. If you have males, are they always left intact?
Yeah.
At a certain age, do you ever use females?
To a certain age, once they start getting older, my vet, Dr. Chariot's, who takes care of all our dogs, he claims when a dog gets older, it's best to get them neutered and everything for health reasons. So, but
Are there any females in the group?
no, and it's, believe it or not, a female working dog has a better bond to a handler than a male. It's crazy. But we've had one female over the years. Officer Greg Lane worked a dog named Kyra, explosive dog. So,
What's their diet?
we strictly feed them a high protein diet, Purina Pro Plan. Typically they get 4 cups a day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. So you kind of want to watch their diet. That's the big thing, because you don't want them too heavy because they tire out too quick. So, like me, I'm tired.
Are they on a specific exercise routine?
No, just based on what they do. We train every Wednesday. That's when everybody comes together, and we run over scenarios, do stuff that we need, fixing. And I do a lot of stuff on their own. It constantly revolves. Like at the house, I do obedience, run him up a hill, stuff like that. So yeah, get back.
You intentionally choose male dogs?
No, we don't. And it just, when we go to these breeders, we've used breeders in West Virginia, Florida, let's see, Virginia Beach. So we've got several different, it just all depends on how they test out and what they got on hand. Typically they have more males, because if they got a good female, that's what's keeping them afloat financially wise. So,
Are they out on the job pretty much every day?
every day. If I'm working, he's working. So, yeah.
Do you all do any competitions?
We used to. Our certification right now is it's the NNDDA. We used to belong to USPCA, and I know it's a lot of numbers, but we used to go and compete with other agencies, like 40-some units. So, and my last dog, he came in top dog place, took twice, so, out of 40 dogs. So, yeah.
What's the criteria to fetch a person? What kind of guidelines do you use?
So our policy, a few things we look for is if it's a violent or serious felony, a violent misdemeanor, or if there's officer safety issue. So somebody's got a weapon, if they run into like a dark wooded area and conceal themselves, they've got warrants for assault or murder, some kind of violent charge. And we can use them to apprehend somebody, but we can't just for like shoplifting or something like that unless there's an officer safety.
Yeah, that can change. Like we arrive upon a simple call, there's no violence, but the suspect himself all of a sudden just flipped out, and he makes it. He makes the scene. So if that's the case, we use a dog, because it's sad to say, but they're working dogs, and if it can save one of our officers, that's what it's for at the end of the day. So.
I think I know the answer to this. We passed legislation that gives greater protections to law enforcement dogs.
Yes, sir.
And if a dog is harmed by an assailant, then they can be charged just like you've assaulted a police officer. Can you talk a little bit about?
From what I understand about that legislation, if one of our dogs gets harmed or killed, whoever does that gets charged with the E felony, and also has to pay restitution on how much that dog is worth at the time it got killed. So we buy the dog at $8,000, green dog. Once a dog gets trained up and all this is learned by him, you could sell him for like 15 grand. So that's how much he'd have to pay back to the department. Let me go back.
They ever relax?
The what?
Dogs ever relax
They're high strung. We typically use the Belgian Malinois. That's not to say German Shepherd is not a good dog. It's just hard to find a good German Shepherd anymore. They breed them where they've got back issues, leg issues, arthritis. We just get more longevity out of these Malinois than we do Shepherds with everything.
You've got 4 dogs total, right?
5.
5. Do the dogs ever socialize with each other?
Not socialize, we work together. Like, I'll do some stuff where if we got a guy in a decoy suit in a closet, I'll send one dog, let him fight him for a little bit, then I'll send my dog in. And have that reaction is, have 2 dogs on one guy if need be. Because the way I look at it when I train, I want to train for the worst case scenario. I throw everything at these dogs. We do water, we put a decoy in the water, let the dog get in the water with a decoy. So that way when it happens here on the streets for life, the dog is used to all this other stuff. You try to train for up here and hope you stay right in here, if that makes sense.
Well, you have, like in your dogs are bonded with the handler.
Yes.
Probably friendly with the family.
Yes.
With the handler.
Mm-hmm.
No other dogs, no other people.
Yes, that's typically what I like. What you run into in the past, I've seen handlers associate their dog, there's nothing wrong with it, but they associate their dog with everybody. Like they have everybody in the room pet him and everything. In my opinion, I think that desensitizes a working dog a little bit, because I've seen dogs, nightmares. A guy that's got weapons and needs to be bit, and the dog runs down and don't engage, type thing. And that's putting us in harm. So I worry about that more than anything. That's why I don't like to desensitize a dog to a pet stage. Now, when he retires, he's a big old couch pet. That's all he does. So we spoil him rotten. Yeah.
Jesse.
When there's multiple people around, how do you specify which one you want him to apprehend, him or her?
That's a good question. Everybody's seen Jurassic Park, the movie? You know how the little raptors, they go by movement? That's what these dogs cue into, movement. The dogs itself will feed off our commands. So if we're telling somebody, get on the ground, show me your hands, they're trained to understand, hey, this is for real. I'm getting ready to bite this guy. So that heightens the dog up. And basically, whoever we're biting is either A, gonna run or has sitting there acting like an idiot. So we're not gonna send a dog through a crowd and he bites the correct guy. It won't work like that. So. I've always been interested in K-9 since Wayne Anderson worked dogs. My dad, when I was like 6, 7 years old, he used to take me down to Allendale, watch him certify down in West Stone Drive. So that perked my interest, and that's something I've always done. So I love it. I love the rewarding fact of it. Finding a suspect. Suspect runs from a scene, I'll track him, find him. That's more rewarding than anything. Good large sum of drugs off the street. Love getting drugs off the street. Things I didn't know is the commitment and the hard work you got to put into it. A lot of people think you get these dogs and you got these commands on a piece of paper. All right, tell him to see it in this language like that. It don't work like that. It's constantly training. I try to strive to make everybody on this unit best as they could be, to that sort and everything.
You said you would like to have a bloodhound.
Yeah.
What's the limiting factor? Are there fewer of them, or does it cost more, or?
Just finding, right now, as y'all know, we've kind of got a hiring problem. We just ain't got the people right yet to do a school and stuff. That's the only thing. Once we get the shifts up to numbers and everything, I don't see no problem one bit being able to get one and actually have a school and everything.
You brought up Wayne Anderson. What happened to Ike, the drug dog?
I couldn't tell you.
You remember it?
I barely do. I remember he used to have I think he's had 3 or 4, and that's why I was trying to work more dogs than he is, but I'm not gonna make it. He's had like 3 or 4 dogs in his career. So
I think Ike was a failure because he this is the story I got, but they had a big bust, and they had beer spilled in the car, and I got real anxious to start drinking the beer. that was the end, and he would take them around when groups were having parties and things, he'd bring the drug dog out, and people would actually give him beer.
How
and then
funny.
the dog, and then Ike would chew the can.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. That's crazy.
He
Yes,
liked beer.
How do we know when they retire? Typically, we have pretty good luck. Like I said, 8 to 10 years is what they can work with. If either one of us sees something, I don't like to work a dog till it's wore out type thing. I want him to enjoy a little bit of relaxation and everything before he passes on. So I don't believe in working a dog to death. If I start seeing the dog slowing down, not really interested in doing what he wants to do, that's when I'll make a command decision and say it's time to get another one type thing. So. That's hard for them. When I retired my 2 dogs, when they see my cruiser leaving, they just don't know why Daddy ain't taking him work, and they just sit there and just spin and go nuts. But it's a balance you got to do. As soon as I get off, I try to come home and spend time with them, throw ball in the yards, something low key like that to get them enjoying, relaxation a little bit. So.
What are y'all's ranks?
I'm just a patrolman, FTO. I've been patrolling for 24 years on the road. For 24 years, I enjoy every bit of it. So I mean, it's something. Everybody said, "Why ain't you promoted yet?" And I was like, "Well, in my eyes, the money might be great, but I believe if you're going to work, do something that you enjoy. I'd rather come to work and do something I enjoy than because I've been doing this for so long. I couldn't imagine being without one. So that's just me.
Yeah, I'm also a patrolman, one of the training officers, but Billy showed me everything I know about the dog stuff. So he's been training dogs since before I was ever an officer. So he's a lot of knowledge here.
So the dogs don't have ranks?
No, no, they don't have ranks. No vacation time. No. Yes, sir.
You have a K-9 assigned to each shift?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's their main goal. We have a patrol dog assigned to each shift, and the explosive dog is he works mainly day shift all the time in case there's a bomb threat at a school or something like that.
Have you ever found an explosive?
One time. That was in Hawkins County. They called us down there to do an area sniff for a guy supposed to be making explosive devices. And at the time, Officer Brian Taylor was working a dog named Axel. And he was an explosive dog. And he sent the dog into the trailer where the guy lived at, and Axel found the actual device. And they actually sent it to FBI, and it was in fact a homemade explosive.
So other law enforcement groups in the area, like Johnson City or Bristol, do they have, I'm assuming they have K-9 units?
Some do, some don't. We all work under the umbrella. Anytime Sullivan County needs us, we help them out. Same as Hawkins County. I think Hawkins County used to have 1 dog. There just ain't no funding available. We're fortunate up here, thank goodness we got the funding and able to do what we can, make people safe and what we enjoy. But I've been all the way in Virginia, roads I ain't never heard of. So sometimes it happens like it. We're on call 24/7. So if something happens, they usually call us out. And if one's not working, we usually go to wherever they need us at.
So Billy, do y'all still train down to Allendale? You mentioned that. There used to be a course down there.
Yes, BAE course. That was set up for the USPCA course. That USPCA, it was nice, but it's more driven towards show dogs type thing. You sent dogs up ladders. They had to jump over hurdles. And over time, we've seen a lot of dogs was getting early injuries, like knees and problems. And we got thinking about that. Well, that's putting a lot of stress on their bodies. So we switched out of that and went with this other certification group. And there's no officer course in it. We just strive for building search, detection, tracking, and apprehension, and obedience.
Has anybody got anything else for us? While we've got
Come back.
Come back. We'll come back anytime.